Oops. Alrighty. Everything on Do Not Disturb. Oops, I guess I could put this to my face. There we go. Okay. When you pop in, please do let me know you're here. But 5 minutes early. Sit back and have some coffee while I wait for everybody to come on. Nice cold coffee. I know Diane is going to be late. Still trying to decide on what size I want to make. I think I'm going to go medium. I made the large for the tutorial, so I think I'll go medium. Are you coming in, Dexter? Come on, baby. So I popped in a little bit early, so hopefully some people come in here soon and let me know if you can hear me. Hey, Dawn, can you hear me? Yes, I'm guessing you aren't at home right now. Dawn, will you be making this one? I know you're probably not sewing along today, but just curious if you'll be making it. Loud and clear? Perfect. I have the sun coming in my window. It's blinding me a little bit here. But if I close my curtains, it's too dark. This is an amazing project bag. For your socks, Dawn, the small one would be perfect. I think I'm going to make the medium one, though. It is a super fast sew. Like, we're not going to have full classes making this one. It's going to be so fast. It's a nice and mindless sew, and it's satisfying, and it's de-stressing. It's a big difference from the bags we have been doing lately that have been pretty intense. This is a nice, easy sew. It was so nice to sew up. I said I made the large one. And it's great for your sock knitting, Dawn. The little one. I'm going to make myself a little one. But I'm making a medium one for class because I think the client that bought this one, I think she may buy a medium one in the fabrics that I'm making this one in. So I'm trying to get her on the hook for it. Oh, Coco says hi. Hi, Rhonda. How are you? Rhonda, are you cutting along with me today? We have a huge storm coming in now, and it's all of a sudden, it was like blinding me with the sun a moment ago. Like I just said, I couldn't see, and all of a sudden it's gone super dark, and I don't know if you guys can hear that wind. We're supposed to get a huge thunderstorm today, so hopefully I don't lose power and we get through this, but it's going to be such a fast cutout. We're going to be doing ruler measurements. They're all square pieces. You can definitely print out your pattern pieces if you want to, but they're all square or rectangular measurements. So I'm just going to be using rulers. You're planning on making the large one? Awesome. This is the large one here. Show you how big it is. I don't have it all cinched up right now, but it's pretty large. When it cinches up, it's a pretty cool bag. And this one has sold already. I put it on my Facebook page. I had every intention of keeping this one for myself. But yeah, my client, she came to pick up her bag. She saw this on the website. She came to pick up her order and then said she wanted this bag too. And I said, you can have it, but you can't have it till the end of the month because I need it for my demonstration bag. So, but the large one is great. It would hold an Afghan really well, or a bulky sweater if you're knitting it, or even if you're doing any embroidery projects. This would be amazing for your hoops and everything on the go with your threads. It's a really good size. So, I mean, seriously. So are you cutting along with me today, Rhonda, or are you watching today? Ah, so you got the sun there now, Rhonda. You must have sent me the rain. You're not too far from me. Diane's going to be a little bit late, but I do know she is making this bag. It's huge, right? Said it measures, the large measures 13 width, 11 and a half high, and 6 deep. Holy Coco. Coco, I'm going to warn you guys right now. She is going to be barking. There's nothing I can do about it. She hates the thunder, and because I'm not with her wrapping her in her weighted blanket, she's just going to be beside herself. So Riley's up there with her right now, but normally I'm the only one that can calm her. So I apologize in advance if she's noisy. Dexter will probably end up down here with me. But yeah, no, this is a great bag. So I'm going to do the medium one just because I'm curious of the size. I will be making a small one for myself later on, but again, I'm making the medium size because the client got this. I think I can make her buy a medium one too, because she didn't know if she wanted to get this one or order a medium size one. So, and she's a coffee fanatic, so I'm using the scraps from my small can-do Kato bag, and I'm doing another coffee themed one with this to use up these scraps and to hopefully sell her another bag. That's my goal. And then I'll make myself a smaller one in different fabrics, because the small ones are more what I use because I'm a sock knitter. So oh, Rhonda, what are you planning to put in it? I mean, it's easy enough unless you cut out your corners and everything. So I like the size of the large bag. I actually had all of my stuff loaded into this for my my scarf shawl thingy I'm making out of thicker yarn, but then I unloaded it because she wanted it. So I just stick with what you got cut out. It's a nice decent size. All right, so we'll give it another couple minutes. I know a lot of people said that they would be catching the replay because I couldn't make it tonight, which is fine. So I will be cutting for the medium. I didn't print off the pattern pieces. Oh, my lights are flashing. I'm going to have to get started before we lose the power. Do you see the lights flashing? So again, I'm going to do all ruler measurements. I'm not going to say what the measurements are. You'll have to follow along on page, what page is this? On the page where it says the working from measurements, we'll be going down that. You will see my ruler, but I will not be saying out loud what the measurements are because I can't give out those measurements. It's bad enough you're going to be seeing my ruler, but that's okay. So I will be, oh man, Starbucks. I have been drinking this Starbucks since 11 o'clock this morning, Dawn. I just keep heating it up. I'm so slow when it comes to coffee. So yeah, I will say, okay, we're going to cut this panel to such and such measurements. Please refer to your pattern piece for those measurements, and you can cut it similar to how I'm cutting it, and so on and so forth. But it's going to go super fast. It's all rectangular and square pieces. It is so fast to cut out. Yay! Your crocheting stuff? Yeah, for sure. Now, your wax canvas is pretty moldable, right, Rhonda? Because for this bag, especially for this channel and for this upper section, you wouldn't want to use vinyl or anything too thick. Otherwise, it's not going to cinch up. So I would play with it. I have fleece in mind for my stabilizer. But yeah, you want it to be a squishy, soft bag. Hi, Diane. So yeah, the only part that I chose vinyl was right here because I thought it made a really nice vinyl accent. Now in the pattern, they have an option to put a cam snap there if you wanted to. I didn't think it needed it, so I opted that's where I'm going to put my nameplate because I just think it looks really good. Hi Kim, Diane and Kim, are you going to be cutting along with me today? And then the rest is just all cotton, so you definitely don't want to be using any kind of vinyl or anything on this channel for sure because it will not cinch up. Yeah. Stands up pretty good though. So again, Kim and Diane, this one is the large that I made the tutorial for. I am going to be doing a medium for the class. I didn't print out the pattern pieces because they're all rectangulars and squares, so I'm going to be going off the page in the pattern that says working from measurements 1, 2, it's page 3 of the pattern. You haven't picked out your fabric yet, Diane? Okay. Hi Karen, how are you? It's Karen W. We have 2 Karens. We have a Karen G and a Karen W. Karen, will you be making this with us? Or cutting this with me today? Or making this at all? Diane, you will be making it though, yes? Sorry, I'm all over the place with my questions, aren't I? So as I was telling everybody before, I didn't cut out the pattern measurements. We're going to do ruler measurements, but I'm not going to be giving you the measurements because I can't do that. You will see my ruler and stuff doing it, so you may be able to sneak a peek at what they are. But just because I can't give out measurements in a pattern. So I will be saying we're cutting, say, the main panels, and you're going to look on your working measurements and you are going to cut to that size, okay? Okay, so Diane is going to be making this. How about you, Kim? How's the closing going for your house? Diane, Karen is here, Kim is here. I will be going live on Thursday, and I will do the VIP draw for May. I haven't forgotten. I just haven't gotten to it. When I got back from my 10 days in Ontario, I've just been running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to get all caught up and get tutorials done and get things ready. So I plan to do a weekly check-in and do the May VIP draw on Thursday. Not sure what time yet. It'll probably be 9 or 10, I'm sure. I'm thinking. Okay, Karen, you're making the medium one. Perfect. And are you cutting with us today, Karen, or are you watching today? Rhonda has cut it out already. It's going to be Friday. Oh, good. So you got everything situated, Kim? The closing, all the stuff that was standing in your way is gone? I'm so happy for you. Okay. Do we have everybody here? All right, so we'll give it another 2 minutes and then we will get started. Again, if it flickers and if I lose power, I apologize. We will be, we have a huge thunderstorm rolling in. It has just started to get windy. Coco may start freaking out if we start hearing thunder because she hates it. And the only way I can calm her is to wrap her in a weighted blanket. But of course I'm doing this so I can't do this. Okay, so Karen is cutting with me. Rhonda she likes the bag in the background. This is a client bag. So she chose all the fabrics for this. This is the Morphing Convertible bag by Chris W. Designs. What's really cool about this one is it's a backpack. You have your handles. You can pull these straps up like this and it makes it a shoulder bag. I made it detachable, so I changed it a little bit. I made this detachable. So You can wear it like a sling on either side, as well as a crossbody if you wanted. And I changed it up. This is originally written to be a birth bag, but I did it bound because you know how much I love binding, and it goes so fast and it just gives it such structure. So this one is headed out to the other. How does this compare to the Kato bag? Do you want me to go upstairs and grab my Kato bag? I made the small Kato bag. They're quite different. Okay, hold one moment. I will go grab my Kato bag. It's upstairs with my socks in it. I'll be back in 2 seconds. 1 second. The bonuses of having an in-house studio. I can run upstairs to my knitting corner. So this is the small Kato bag. This is really small. Like it was almost too small for my sock. I got a pair of socks working in here right now. See, it's all full up. So different style bag, same designer, similar in a way, yet different. So I'm thinking the small of this one will probably be similar in size to this one here. Actually, it's a little bit bigger because I think it says it's 9 inches wide where this one is 7. So same designer, yeah. But I love them both. I'm actually doing the class bag in these fabrics. And this is where I'm being sneaky because the client that has called dibs on this one wanted to buy this one, and I'm not giving this one up. I've already been using it for 2 months. I love it. But she wanted a medium size bag like this in this fabric, but then she decided she wanted the large of this. So I'm going to make the medium in this fabric in hopes that she is going to buy it. So that's what I'm going with. So are there any questions about fabric choices or anything before we get started? Fabric choices or interfacings? So the cutting tutorial has been up for a while already for you guys to see, exclusive to members, and the actual sewing tutorial went up this morning. I finished it up this morning. So you guys have those for reference. I love the Kato bag too, Kim. I do. I seriously do. Perfect for socks. You can put it on your wrist and go, and it's great. I just want to make all the project bags. Mostly cotton is a good idea, yeah. Just because you need to be able to cinch it. I did put a vinyl accent here. I will explain where the cam snap goes here, but really for this pocket, like it's not really floppy or anything. I didn't think it needed that snap there. And I didn't put the snap on the lining side either. You can see there. I'll put my patterns and my needles or whatever in those places, but I didn't think it needed the snap, and putting that little vinyl accent made a perfect place for me to put my my nameplate. So it is a great seller, Kim. I am going to make all of these project bags in all 3 sizes to have on my craft table this market season in the fall. I'm going to focus on my fellow crafters. That's for sure. For my interfacing, for my exterior, I used EB Fuse Medium, which is just a little bit heavier than SF101 because I wanted more of a canvasy feel, and also because I'm on an industrial, it just really, I was scared that this might have been too light for my industrial, but it wasn't, as long as it's interfaced. My lining pieces and my channels I backed with EB Fuse Light, which is like an SF101, and my main interfacing is a low loft fusible fleece, which I get, it's Pellon whatever FF, I don't remember what it's called. So I'll be using all of those same things. I'm going to be using scraps of vinyl just for these little pieces here, but you can definitely use cotton. It goes together the same way. I ordered paracord from Amazon for my drawstring, but you can use cording, you could use shoelaces, you could use ribbon, whatever you like. And I don't know what this stuff's called. This is optional tie string. I think this is called twill tape, but I'm not sure. You can use ribbon, you could use whatever. I was just super cheap at Fabricland, so I grabbed it. I will not be doing in this one. You can see in this bag all the slip pockets in here. This is kind of similar to what will be in this bag, but I myself don't use all of those slip pockets. So I thought the slip pocket was good enough, and then I want to turn this a little bit different in the end, so I put in my usual zipper pocket. I prefer a zipper pocket because that's where you could put the stuff you don't want to fall out of the bag. So I will not be doing the slip pockets on the one side. You can definitely do it following along with the pattern. Super easy to do, just like any other slip pocket, but I will be keeping in this one here because I like it. And in the pattern, she closes the bottom, she leaves the bottom open, folds it under, and then does just top stitches it shut with the zipper pocket, leaving the zipper pocket open. That enabled me to leave the whole lining open for an easy turn through, and then we just close it up through the zipper pocket like I always do. So those are the only things I'm really doing different in the pattern in the class, so I hope that works for you. I find it's just a lot faster and a lot easier to do it this way. So any comments, concerns, questions before we get started? Oops, let me just put this one bag away. Kim, can I ask what you were selling them for? I think my price point is pretty good. They're pretty fast to make, and what's great about them is I can sell them for under $100 Canadian, which is great for craft markets. So like this size here, this one is $45. And then it goes up, I think at they're 45. What did I have them priced at? And then I went up $15 increments because it's more fabric. And this one, my small, is starting at $55 and going up at $15 increments. Dexter, that's enough, baby. It's already quarter. Oh my goodness. Hasn't made my speaker go crazy, has it? Dexter, no. No. I'm going to lock him out of the room. 1 second. Go upstairs and see. Oh, because it's Coco's there. Are you okay, baby? Never mind. Coco's right here. She's scared, so we're going to let them stay in. And I will apologize if they're barking. Hi, Cocoa Beans. It's okay, baby. Dexter, that's enough. Oh my gosh. Let me text my kids. Maybe they need to eat. The dogs, not the kids. 1 second, dogs. They're here. I'm just texting them upstairs. It's funny that I text my kids when they're just upstairs. Better than yelling. Did I interface the cotton lining? Karen, I did, mainly because I'm on an industrial and I have to have interfaced cotton. If you're on a domestic, I don't think you need to interface it if you don't want to. You can decide if you do. Does it call for interfacing? I don't even know. So for the lining, if you're on a domestic, I don't think you need to interface it if you're using it as a project bag. But on an industrial, definitely interface it because your machine will eat the fabric if it's not interfaced. Did that answer your question? So this bag is 100% written for a domestic machine. So us people on industrials, we just have to add in a little bit more interfacing to make sure our machines aren't going to eat it up, but at the same time not making it so stiff that it's not going to cinch up. So a little more of a challenge for, it's not a hard bag at all though. It's super, super easy. These will not be full classes, I can tell you right now. Use vinyl on, oh, for your Kato bag? I use vinyl on my bottom too, see? As long as it wasn't on the top, but yeah, I love making this Kato. I really did. All right, well, let's get started. So again, I will not be giving out measurements. I'm using ruler. Oh wait, Karen says, I was thinking the finish would be nicer with interfacing. It looks like the pattern doesn't call for it. I have, even when I used to sew my Juki 2010Q, I always interfaced my cotton pieces, regardless if it called, because the machine can handle it. And I just think it makes the lining have a little bit more durability because it just gives it that little extra, you know. So I I'm big on putting a medium woven interfacing on the lining pieces. So yeah, that's one great thing about bag making is we can decide to do that. I'm going to close the door now that the dogs are eating upstairs. Sorry for all the distractions. Okay. And let's get started. Let me put this down. Okay, can everybody see okay? Is this a good view? So, now I'm going to be playing with my lining fabrics like I did in this bag. So, my exterior pieces for this middle section, I know I'm not there yet, but I cut one of the lining as an exterior piece and same as the exterior color as a lining piece, just to kind of give these really cool pockets a little bit of pop of color, and then interface them as per what they were. So these are exterior pieces, so both this one and this one I did with a medium woven interfacing. Well, if you're using a medium woven, I did a EB Fuse medium, but not everybody can get that. So Rhonda says she's going to go for medium and use cottons. I did not think this through, not sure if the wax canvas is too stiff. Do you know what, Rhonda? If you look at Jess Oklaroot's YouTube channel, she did a tutorial on this bag, and I believe she used waxed canvas. But take a peek, search it out on there, and see if you like the look of it. I think it was this one she used a waxed canvas on. Like, I'm 90% sure she did, so take a peek and see. But I don't think she interfaced it. I think she just left it without interfacing so it would be squishier. Okay, so we're going to start by cutting a main panel. I'm not going to fussy cut this at all. I tried to fussy cut this one and it didn't work because these panels end up being longer and how they come together and how this folds under. Trust me, we're just going to go for it. If you want to attempt the fussy cut, you're more than welcome to. I am using a directional fabric, so I'm noticing that in my measurements they run width to height, so I want to make sure my width is going this way and my height is going this way. I love this fabric so much. This is, what is this fabric? Do you know what? Oh, there it is. Michael Miller's Coffee Shop. I got this at Heather's Fabric Shelf, which is a block away from my house. Okay, so we need to cut one exterior fabric of this. Now I'm doing the medium, so I will be marking with my pen as well as I go through. So go through, decide which size you're doing, and we're going to go ahead and cut that piece out. Again, I am not going to fussy cut this at all. So I am actually, how do I want to do this? So again, this is bigger than my ruler is. Actually, I can probably, do I want to attempt this? So because the measurement is bigger than my ruler, I'm thinking if I do the width in half this way, but then if I also fold this up this way, I can do the height in half too, because I got a fold and a fold. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's give it a go. Let me try this before you do it, but I think it's going to work. So again, I'm folded it in this way, and then I'm also going to fold it up this way because I'm using ruler measurements and my ruler is not long enough. And then I'm going to put my width halfway mark of my ruler along this fold here, make sure it's nice and even. Oh my gosh, it's going to challenge me. What is that? I'm doing math in my head. Okay. That's where I want to be there. And then my height. I'm making sure I'm looking at the right one. Is going to be there. So what I've done is I've put the center marks on each fold. So when I fold this out on my double folds, it should be the right size. Am I thinking right? Okay, let me just double check that this is right. 7 and, okay, yeah, I think that's right. Again, you can draw it out if you want to. I think that's what I did in the cutting tutorial. Yeah, Rhonda, it's called Heather's Fabric Shelf, just a block from my house. She's a great lady. She has MLN hardware for when I'm in a pinch. Okay, now let's hope that I did this right. Okay, so let me double check. Yes, and again, I can't give measurements. Yes, that worked out fine for me. That makes sense what I did. So what it was, because usually if we were, when your ruler's not big enough, because you can see it goes past what my ruler would be for that measurement, we always do it on the fold. And then say this was 12, you would put the 6 on there. That's not what this is, obviously. And then you could cut and you get a 12-inch piece. So doing the double fold this way, and then up again, and then doing our halfway marks on those folds, made it so we can get the piece. Or you can go ahead, if you have a ruler big enough, you can cut it that way, or you could draw it out with chalk, your measurements like we would normally do with vinyl, and do it that way. Ooh, it's windy outside. Okay, so for this main panel, while we're here, I'm going to grab my little 4-inch ruler, and at the bottom of the page you're going to see that we need to cut little squares out of these. So again, you can use the paper pattern pieces and trace it out and cut it with those. I just didn't want to, well, my printer died the day that I was doing this, so yeah, this is just easier. You love this fabric? That's what this was. See, it's gonna match this one. So in the corners at the bottom, you're gonna see how many, what size of squares to cut out. I will tell you, for the medium, I'm cutting out 2.5-inch squares out of each of the bottom corners. I love this 4x4 ruler. I'm just gonna go use it as my template, like an acrylic template. Go to 2.5, and then cut that corner out. Just like so. And same with this side. Okay, so that's that exterior. We're going down the exterior stuff first. We will have to cut a lining piece. We will be using this as a template now that we have it cut to size for our lining piece when we get there, but for now we're just going to put it aside. So that is the exterior main panel. This is the back of the bag that doesn't have the pocket. We can set that aside for now. Put it behind me, and we can mark on our page that we have cut the exterior fabric of that one, but we got to come back for the lining. You could cut your fusible fleece the exact same way, but do not, you can fuse it on that main piece, but don't fuse it onto the front piece because we have to build the front piece. We will be fusing those on in class as we go. Okay, so now we're going to do the center front panel. So again, I'm not fussy cutting this at all, just because it's really complicated with this one. Just make sure your fabric is going in the right direction. Okay, how do I want to do this? So again, follow your pattern piece measurements. If you're doing it like me, I need to cut 2 of these. So you want to cut 2 exterior and 2 lining for these ones. So I think I can do it from here. So I'm going to fold this in half because I want to cut them both at the same time. So again, I'm cutting for medium. Dexter's at my feet. Okay. I'm going to just kind of rough cut it right now. Get my measurements. Make sure you're not mixing up your width. I'm actually going to cut it just slightly bigger, and then I can cut my fold and even it out later. Okay. So right now I am cutting them bigger than they need to be, and I will trim them down after I get a rough cut off. So again, follow your pattern measurements. I'm making about a 1/2 inch bigger on either side, and I'll show you why. Should have changed my rotary blade. I've been sewing so much the last couple days. I never think about it before class. I need to set like a reminder or something to do that. Okay, let me fix this. I'm making a hot mess. So this will give us one big piece on the fold, which we're going to end up cutting into 2 little pieces if I can make my rotary cutter work. Okay. Come on. Okay. So I'm going to fold this in half again. I'm going to make sure we have our straight edge here, which we just cut, so it should be nice and straight, and this top one, which we just cut, should be nice and straight. And that is where we're going to line our ruler up for what the actual measurements are. And then we'll end up cutting along this fold and down this side, and we will have our 2 pieces. Stop me if this doesn't make sense what I'm doing. This is how my brain works and how I always end up cutting everything. So, okay. So there's my measurements for the medium. And then I'm going to cut off the excess. Whoops. Double check again that I'm looking at the right one. Make it going in the right direction, which I do. And we should have 2 of those, and we do. So this is what I was saying before. One of these I'm going to use as exterior fabric, and one of them I'm going to use as lining fabric. And you will see what we do when we get there. So I can already see this bag is going to be quite a bit smaller than the large one. I think this is going to be, maybe I'll end up keeping this for myself. So we're going to put these aside for now. We do have to cut the 2 lining pieces still, but once we have the exterior pieces all cut out, then we will be using the exterior pieces as our templates. We won't have to do any more measuring for these pieces when we do the lining ones. Okay, so I got my exterior center panel 2 done. Okay, and I'm going to skip down to, where are we? Pattern piece E, which is our front side panels. And we are going to cut out 2 of those as per the measurements. And I'm actually going to grab my other ruler for this one, because it is long enough, as well as I'm going to supplement it with a 1-inch ruler. So again, you want to make sure you got it going the right direction. I might have to go get more of this fabric. This fabric is just so great. Okay. So this is 2 rectangles again. So I'm going to fold this in half. Let me cut off my excess here. I'm so used to cutting vinyl and not lining. It's crazy. But this is okay. All right. So I'm going to fold this in half again, making sure my direction is going to be going the right way. I don't know if I have enough here. Look at my measurements for the medium. And make sure I have enough here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so my measurement calls for a little more width than I have. So I am going to do this to the actual height. And then what did I do with my 1-inch ruler? And I'm going to be cutting the width 1 inch longer so we can cut along this side and even out the piece in a moment. So I'm doing my height as per what the measurements are, and then my width I'm adding in. I'm making sure I'm looking at the right measurements. Front, side panels. Oh, do you know what? I don't need this. I was looking at the wrong size. I can do it the whole width of this because my piece is going to be shorter than this width, so I'll trim it up here momentarily. So I'm going my height right on the fold. These are for my side panels. You want to make sure that these are mirrored to one another, so when you are folding the fabric up like so, that is going to mirror them for when we go and cut in our sides. Okay, and then I'm going to just move this over to what my actual width is and double check it for my pattern piece E, and then cut along that fold to get my nice straight line. Okay, I'm going to keep these two pieces on top of each other, right sides together. Make sure they're nice and even. What you can do now is you can either take your little rectangle that you already cut. I'm actually going to do that from my other piece. You can also use your ruler, but this is the little corner we cut out of our back piece, and I'm going to put it right on one corner. We're only going to cut the one corner. With these being face to face, it's going to make them mirrored to one another, and I'm just going to use that as my template to cut around that corner. And then what that will give us is two side panels mirrored to one another, like so. Or you can use your pattern piece as well. All right, does that make sense? You set those aside for now. And I think that is all we need for our exterior fabric. So I got two exterior front side panel. My drawstring channel, I'm going to be doing my drawstring channel out of this coffee fabric, so maybe we'll do that right away. I can put this aside for now. Look, I'm going to be able to get another bag out of that. Man, I only bought a meter of each of these, but it's all good. Okay, everybody following? How are you doing, Karen? Am I going too fast? Are you keeping up? I can't remember if you said you were cutting with me or not. I'm sorry. All right. So, drawstring channels. Sticking with the coffee theme. So we're going to cut two of these as per the measurements. So I'm going to cut them both at the same time again. I'm going to use my extra long ruler again. Where do I want to cut this? Trying to keep as much of this fabric as I can. Okay, I think we're going to go down around this bottom edge here. So we're going to fold this. I'm going to cut both at the same time again. Again, you can use your paper pattern piece. Great. Okay, perfect. Karen, just stop me if I get ahead. Sometimes I just kind of get into the groove and I just go full force ahead. So this is my drawstring channel. So we need two of these. So decide what your fabric is going to be. I think it's really fun to have that pop of something different. I think these bags are going to be fun just because you can use a lot of quilting cottons. Oh my gosh, Dexter is pushing me over. Hi, baby. Why are you between my legs? Okay. He doesn't like the thunder either. Can you guys see the light splashing, or are we okay? Okay, so we're going to take this. We're going to fold it up on the fold like so. Now I am going to cut this to the length, so I know that's right along there. I'm going to put this along here. How high am I going up? Okay. So again, I'm doing my full length. I'm actually going to be cutting all the way across. So I think I'm just going to cut a chunk of it now and then go back in. So I'm longer. My width and my length are way longer than what the pattern piece is. It's just going to be easier to work with just one piece. So just a little bit of waste here. Keeping it on that fold. Get my nice straight lines. Also because I'm using scraps, so I don't always have straight lines until I make the straight lines, depending what I cut before. Edmonds, Dawn and Rhonda, please tell me before class to always change my rotary blade. I always forget. Okay, so I flip this so my fold is on top. I'm going to place my ruler for the medium drawstring channel. I'm going to do that to the full length right there. And now, hopefully, and then the width of what our drawstring channel needs to be. Then we're going to cut up here to trim it down, and then across there for the fold. Okay. These you will interface, all of your cotton pieces you will interface with medium open interfacing, of course. Okay, so that is 2 drawstring channels. Done. Easy, easy. So I'll put those in the done pile because we don't need to do anything else with that. Oh my gosh. Can you guys... I'm going to put this down. So I brought a bed in for Dexter. Hold on. I'm going to put his to face. I'm kind of squirrely, but this is adorable. ignore my messy floor, but I have the cat on the dog bed, and Dexter's right here. She kicked him off. That's Zelda. She's Dexter's mom. Dexter, come here. Come say hi. Come on. Up. Come say hi. And this is my 8-month-old puppy. There's Dexter. My 75-pound 8-month-old puppy being a good boy. But yeah, that's his, Zelda raised him. That's his mom. But she kicked him off of the bed. Look at her. That's hilarious. Sorry. Had to share. Had to share. Oh, Kim, no worries. Now I want to know who you were talking to. Mwahaha. All right. So was I using this for anything else? No, I wasn't. So I can use this for another project. Alrighty, so now we're on to lining fabric. So this is where, I think I have enough. This is the lining fabric. This was all part of the same line. I just loved it. So this is Michael Miller as well. This one's called Diner, but it's so 1950s retro. I just love it. Ah, okay, Kim. All right, so this is where it's going to be easy. So what we're going to do is we are going to grab our pattern pieces from our exterior, and we are going to use them as our templates and go down the list again. So we need to cut our main panel. So I'm going to just lay it down on top and use that as my pattern piece. So we don't have to do any more measuring with this until we get to the pockets. So, alrighty. So go ahead with your main back exterior panel. I love ruler cutting. Like when things are, I don't have to print out pattern pieces and tape them together. I love it. I know a lot of people prefer it, but I prefer just ruler measurements. I just think it goes so much faster. For me, anyways. Okay. Maybe faster if my rotary cutter was sharper, but I'm not sure where my blades are right now. They're probably in my drawer. So this is my 4th project on this blade, so I should have known. And then I changed the blade and I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner? Because it's heavenly. Dexter's talking to Zelda now. Okay. So that is our main panel, back and exterior, the back, exterior, and a lining piece. Look how cute those are together. So again, homework is going to be to interface all of these pieces. On this exterior piece, you can go ahead and do your woven interfacing and your fleece if you want to, or you can do it when I do it in class. So these can go away into my done bucket. The medium is going to be quite a bit smaller than that one. It truly is. So I'm going to cross off. Main panel is completely done except for the interfacing. So I'm going to cross that off so I know it's done. Center front panels, 2 linings. So I'm going to grab one of my center front panels. Again, we're going to use this as the template. My fabric for this isn't really directional, which is great. I'm going to lay down one of my pieces here over top of it folded onto itself so I can cut both at the same time. Away from the fold so we can cut along that fold. And go ahead and cut. So again, one of my lining pieces I'm going to be using as an exterior piece, and one of my exterior fabrics I'm going to use in my lining, just like I did in my other bag. Just kind of gives a fun little aspect. You can do it however you like though. Oh, cocoa beans. Sorry for the barking, guys. But hey, that's what happens when you work from home. And you have fur babies that love you and need you when they're storming outside. All right. Lucky you, Kim, get to stay and do admits. I hope that's overtime for you. So there's my 2 exterior. to lining, but I'm going to make one of these an exterior and this an exterior. That'll make sense when we get into the pattern, and the same with these ones. So those are done. They just need to be interfaced. Let go. Come on. All right. We're almost done. So that is my center front panel. Everything but interfacing is done. Fusible fleece. You can decide if you want to cut it out. I will be cutting it out later on in class. We'll do that. Side panels. So I'm going down to E. And again, we want these to be mirrored to one another, which is easy to do. So you're just going to take your fabric, fold it wrong size together or right size together, whichever way. Make sure your direction's going the right way. Take one of your side pieces and use it as your template and cut it out, and that'll give you two mirrored ones the way it's folded. I'm actually going to go up here. Oh my gosh, it's so dull. So dull. Okay. I could use my scissors. I have new Kai scissors, but I'm a rotary girl. Okay. So if we've done that right, that should give us two lining pieces mirrored to one another, which we have. And we can set those aside, and those can be interfaced for homework. All right. Oh my gosh, Kim, salary sucks that way. I used to be salary all the time too. Okay, so we've done our drawstring channels. We did our front side panels are done. Okay. So again, the interior pocket piece, that is for the slip pocket she does all the way around. I'm not going to do that. I won't use those in my project bags, and I really want to do a zipper with an open bottom just because, trust me, it makes things easier for finishing the bag. You don't get that ridge at the bottom of the bag from closing up the hole. It's just as seamless. And I think a zipper pocket, I mean, we have two slip pockets in this bag already, and I think a zipper pocket to be able to secure things that you don't want falling out of the bag, because it is a drawstring bag. If it were to fall upside down, little things could fall out. So anything you want to be secured, you could have in the zipper. It's the way my brain works. So what we're going to cut now is our front lining pockets. So what that is on the inside of this pocket, this opposite side here. So we need one for this one, and for our lining pocket, the inside of it there. So we are going to cut them at the same time as per your pattern measurements. So this is pattern piece C and the working measurements. I'm going to fold this up on itself just like we did before. If your fabric is directional, make sure you pay attention to that. Mine isn't, so it doesn't matter for me. Doing it on the fold. And okay, this is where the piece I need is longer than my ruler, so I'm actually going to use a 1-inch ruler to extend it out. And I could also use one of my larger rulers, I guess. And what am I trying to do here? So that's my width. And I need my height, which I'm going to cut just slightly bigger as well because I got to even out these edges. So I'm cutting everything about a 1/2 inch bigger than it needs to be. And then I will work with that piece, work with that piece to make it the way it needs to be. If you have rulers that work that you don't have to do this, definitely use them. I guess I could have used my larger ruler, but it's okay. Okay, then I'm going to take this piece, and I know that this side and this side are nice and straight and even. So now I can finish that off. I got my fold up here. and I can put these to what my actual measurements were. And I'm going to use this because it's a 1/2 inch bigger than what my ruler is. So I'm going to put this 1/2 inch in. Okay, like that. And I want it to be right there. I wish I could give you guys the measurements. You can probably see what I'm doing, but follow your pattern and cut those 2 lining pocket pieces, like so. So we should have 2 of those, which need to be interfaced as well. You can put those aside to the interfacing bucket. All right, and then all we have left to do is our zipper pocket, which I am adding in. Let me just see what the width of this is. 11. Okay. So I'm going to do my standard zipper pocket with the 8-inch opening. I will be using this when we get to the vinyl part. So an 8-inch opening here by a 1/2 inch. So my zipper lining pockets, I'll go this way. I'm going to cut mine 10 inches wide-ish. That'll work there. 10 inches wide-ish by 7-ish inches and cut 2 of them. So I'm folding them upon itself. Again, this doesn't have to be exact because we can trim it up. So that's good enough for me. We'll just cut that, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to cut it right along here. Might not be super straight, but that's okay. You just want the width to be at least 10 inches on either side because our opening is going to be 8 inches. So again, that's what I added in. Again, I cut them 10 inch for the medium, 10 inches by about 7-ish inches, which will work for the large as well. I don't know how that will work in the medium. You may have to change up those sizes. Are we good? Okay, so that is our front pocket lining pieces we did. And again, I didn't do the slip pocket pieces because of I'm just going to go with the decorative slip pocket that's in them. I'm not going to do the extra slip pockets. We're doing the zipper instead. If you're doing, I'm using webbing for my handles. If you are doing handles with fabric, that's where you're going to cut them as per the pattern measurements, and you will do that double fold as per how we make handles. So, but I'm using just the webbing ones. They work great for project bags and they save on fabric. So that is it for these fabric pieces. Unless you are doing your welt. Now this is what the welt is this piece right here. So we have 2 welt pieces, one for the inside and one for the outside. I'm doing them in vinyl just to give them that pop of color and that pop of vinyl because I like vinyl. So I've got my, actually I think I do, scrap vinyl over here. I'm going to use up some of this. I'm using this Crimson Pearl. And I'm going to draw out my, actually I'm just going to measure them. So my front pocket welts, we need 2. These will not need to be interfaced if you're doing them in vinyl like me. Oh, bummer. Okay, I'm going to have to cut them separate. I was thinking I could use my full ruler to do it, but I'm going to have to cut them separate. So again, I'm not going to draw them out. I'm just going to cut them because they are rectangular piece cuts. Follow your pattern. So I'm going to cut 1. Make sure I got the right measurement. 6. Yes. This is actually a great scrap buster too. I should have went through my scrap. I guess I kind of did. Then I'm just going to use this piece and use it as my template. Okay, and those are my 2 welt pieces. Done. And then all we have left to do is our zipper pocket overlay. If you're doing that, you can also do the traditional zipper pocket when you use cottons for sure, or you could use, what is it called? You know, the zipper cotton overlay. It's not called an overlay. I forget what it's called. But you can do this however you like. I'm going to just draw out my one like this and use my templates. Again, this one is 8 inches in the opening and 1 inch on either side and 1 inch on top if you wanted to make similar shapes if you didn't have the template. Super easy to make these. So yeah, so this is 8, 9, 10 inches wide and about 2.5 inches tall, and then just angled on the corners if you want to make your own. Or go over to the sewyours.com website and order this one because I love this one. Lots of patterns have them. If you have any lavender and twine patterns, they have these as paper templates in those. Probably a different shape, but okay. And then of course I have my little tool here for cutting out my rectangle. Not necessary, but sure is a luxury. I do love this thing, as you guys have seen me use it over and over again. And if you want to edge paint that, you can. It's up to you. Let's double check. I think that is everything. That is everything. And just like that, not even a half hour later, we're completely done cutting out this bag. And it is such a quick sew, you guys, you have no idea. I have a feeling next class will be only about an hour long as well. And same with the last class, because the exterior and the linings go together the same way. So next class, I'm going to show you how to do the exterior panels. Well, maybe we'll get to do it all. We'll see. The exterior panels, and I may send you to do the lining panels for homework, but we'll play it by ear and see where we go. We could possibly get through the whole bag next week too. I said this is a super, super, super fast sew. So we'll play it by ear and see how we're feeling and go from there. Are there any questions about anything? It says super short class, way different than the Penny Inn, which was super long classes. It's kind of a nice break, actually. Even the Thursday bag is a little bit faster. It's not super fast, but it's a pretty fun and somewhat easy make as well. Have you got her all, Karen? You followed along okay? Didn't go too fast? I always feel like I'm going too fast. There's lightning happening now. That's why Coco is barking. All right, if there are no other questions, I'm going to call it a class and go and make dinner. Again, it was super, super fast. The tutorial is up. There's a cutting tutorial up. The cutting tutorial, I did a little different than how I showed how to do it here. I actually drew out the marks rather than doing it folded, so it gives you 2 ways of doing it. And again, you can also print out the pattern pieces and cut from there. I just thought it would be fun to show how to do it with ruler measurements rather than the actual pattern pieces. Now, whenever I have a bag that's mainly rectangles and squares, I never print out the pattern pieces. Awesome, Diane. Have a great day at work tomorrow. And if there's any questions, please do feel free to message me on Facebook or in the Bagmakers group. I didn't set up an event again because Facebook is being weird and it wasn't letting me set it up sectionalized again, so I don't know what's going in there. You're a few steps behind. Oh, okay, Karen, no worries. If you have any questions, please do reach out. I'm always here to help you. But yeah, my email's down below if you ever need to email me for anything, or you can get me on Facebook. Yeah, I'm here for you whenever you need me, and I will see most of you Thursday, and everybody else I will see on Tuesday. Make sure you check out the tutorial that I posted today, and yeah, it's going to build excitement. It's just such a fun sew. All right, I'll see you guys all on the next one. Have a great night. Bye.